you the kind of athlete who does better in practice than you do in competition? You know, in practice, you're consistently at your best, you're relaxed, all your skills are there, and you perform the way you know you're capable of. And then the frustrating part, you go into competition when you're under pressure, and it's kind of like that old movie, The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And your skills do a disappearing act, and you can't get yourself to perform the way you know you're capable of. I mean, you know the drill. It's the pitcher who throws bullpens and has amazing speed and unbelievable control, and you stick them on the mound and they can't even find the strike zone. Or the hitter in BP, in batting practice, who crushes the ball and they get in a game and they can't even buy a hit. Or a swimmer or a runner who is consistently much faster in practice than they are in meets, or faster in off events than they are in their best events. Now, I'm Dr. Alan Goldberg. I'm a sports performance consultant, work with athletes across every sport, help them overcome fears, performance blocks, and slumps, and perform to their potential. And what I want to talk about today is a really common problem, and a frustrating problem, and a problem that drives coaches and athletes bananas. And it's when you have your skills in training, in practice, when it doesn't count, and then you get into a competition and your skills do a disappearing act. Now, on the surface, the cause of this is obvious. Duh, you're under more pressure in competition. Practice, there's no pressure. It doesn't matter if you mess up. But that really doesn't explain what's really going on and how to correct the problem. You see, athletes who struggle with this, what I call practice players, practice performers, the reason that they have this problem and that when they go into competition they don't perform well is because they're making an incredibly common mental mistake. And that's they're bringing their goals, an outcome focus, what I call a future focus, into the competition with them. Now, in practice, athletes do better because they're not thinking about outcome. They're not thinking about their goals. In their minds, they've basically said, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't count, it's okay if I mess up. And so instead of thinking about anything, they're totally focused on what they're doing in the moment. They're in the now. They go into a competition, they go into a scrimmage that's important or a tryout, and they start telling themselves, now it counts. They're bringing their goals with them. And when you do that, you create this sense of inner urgency inside. And your thinking goes something like this. Now it counts, I have to, I need to, I've got to, oh my God, what if I don't? And the problem with that kind of thinking is that urgency gets you so tight and so nervous that you end up totally falling apart. You end up basically losing your focus on what's really going on. Now, I'm not saying to you don't have goals. I mean, goals are critical for athletes. You want to be successful? You have to have goals, you have to have dreams. They give us a sense of direction. They motivate us to get back up when we've fallen on our faces. But there's a cardinal rule that I tell athletes all the time. You want to perform your best? Your goals are a motivational tool for training, not competition. You bring your goals into a competition with you or any performance that you deem to be important, and you're going to be very disappointed when you come out. Because what ends up happening is that urgency, that sense of urgency, creates a specific headset. And the headset is you either try too hard, you press, you force things, or you get so worried about messing up because you've made this performance so important that you perform tentatively, like afraid to make mistakes. Good example of that. I was working with a Division I baseball player back in the day when, seasons were normal before COVID, and he was batting an unreasonable .517. I mean, the man was lighting it up. He was just on fire. And he had 2 or 3 games where he went 0 for. He put a good bat on the ball, but he didn't get any hits. And all of a sudden, his focus, which during that .517 streak was all about focusing on the ball, seeing the release point, pitcher's release point, and just reacting, and no thoughts. It went from that to, I got to get a hit. I haven't hit in 2 games. What if I go 0 for again? What's this going to do to my average? He started focusing on his goals. Okay, and he brought those with him. And again, your goals are a training tool for practice only. And the purpose that they serve is to motivate you to work hard. When you get into a game, you don't want to have that pressured headset. You don't want to have an outcome focus. You want to be in the moment, focusing on the action, and in baseball and hitting, seeing the ball, the release point, reading instinctively what kind of pitch is coming at you, and reacting. That takes no time, happens in a nanosecond, takes no thinking. We got him back on track, that hitter, and he got back to what he was doing before. But in order for you to perform like you do in practice, you need, when you go into competition, to have that same practice headset in terms of staying in the moment, focusing on what's going on in the action, and letting your outcome thoughts go when they come by. You can't perform your best when you pressure yourself to perform your best. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell icon. I'll let you know when we're having a new video come up. Please leave me your comments, suggestions, always trying to be relevant. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your re-entry and hopefully the competitive season you're about to enter.